Roll call, please. Here.
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 Are there any conflict of interest statements?
Nope.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of June 8th, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes of the June 8th meeting.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 5, bid openings. I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Anybody? Moving on to number 7, correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from Dean Button, Capital Improvements Board, requesting $50,942.42 of CIB funding to be allocated for the State Line Closures Project, and corresponding change order number 1 with Reith Riley Construction Company submitted for approval.
Good morning to the board.
Good morning, Mr. Button.
So we found during the course of state line closures that Kenwood Street had only about 1 5/8 inches thick of asphalt on the surface. So that's pretty small. And the asphalt was poured up against the curbs, and that's the only thing holding the curbs in place. And so when we take the asphalt out, the curbs are falling in. We're going to have to replace the curb and increase the asphalt thickness. And that's the bulk, about half of this change order. The other half is we've got some sewer pipe that has to be made water class pipe because of the separation requirements by the state and the 10 state standards that says that if your sewer is closer than 10 feet, and there's some other requirements that say you got to use water class pipe. And so we had to upgrade our water class pipe. The Capital Improvements Board met on Tuesday this week and approved the funding allocation, and so I'd ask for your approval of both the change order and the funding allocation.
Okay, and I will point out they were both signed by the mayor and by the controller.
Motion to approve Mr. Button's request for the funding allocation and change order as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $5,907.50 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Holman Avenue reconstruction Phase 1 and corresponding change order number 10 with Reith Riley Construction Company submitted for approval.
As the board's aware, the Hammond National Building was demolished over the winter, and during the course of that work, the sidewalk was removed, so the change orders to replace the sidewalk and then to resurface Munich Court. So it's outside the original planned construction limits. It's a $5,000 change order. $6,000, sorry, and it was approved by the Capital Improvements Board for funding on Tuesday, and I'd ask for your approval.
Okay, and I'll again point out it was signed by the mayor and the controller.
Motion to approve Mr. Button's request for the funding allocation and change order.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter C, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $31,276 of CIB funding to be allocated to reconstruct the 200-block alley north of Ogden Street, submitted for approval.
We've had repeated complaints, both by the residents and by city staff, that this is the worst alley we have in the city. I don't know if you've been back there, but it's the alley on the north of Ogden, sort of by the Centier Bank building. Garbage trucks are back there. The road's rutted, the alley's rutted. And so I approached Councilman Torres to see if he'd be willing to do the work, and he'd asked that we split the cost of the project. So this funds 1/2 of the alley. Councilman Torres's funding allocation is making its way through City Hall. This accounts for that. There's no corresponding contract because we're using our resurfacing contract with Milestone as the basis for these prices. And so all we need is approval of the funding allocation that was approved by the Capital Improvements Board on Tuesday.
Okay, and it was also signed by the mayor and the controller.
Motion to approve the funding allocation as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to letter D, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting to accept the quote by Traffic Management Company as a basis for future work for the Hammond citywide pavement markings, which were approved for solicitation of bids on March 23rd, 2023, and no bids were received.
We follow the statute to do bidding for public works projects, and we received no bids as it was stated in the agenda item. And so at guidance through Corporation Council, we solicited a quote from a company that does this work routinely, and we received those quotes earlier this year. This sets the basis for future work that we will do for pavement markings. We have a number of projects that we'd like to get completed, particularly on Holman Avenue, and then there's some areas where we want to try to slow traffic down, and we're going to do that with some lane delineators, these posts that sort of stick up out of the street, and striping. And so this paves the way, so to speak, to do that sort of work. And so I just ask that we accept the prices as presented, and then we will come back later for funding for projects to do striping projects throughout the city.
Do I need, the pricings aren't on the agenda, do I need to actually read them off?
No.
Okay.
No. So what we did was, with Nice Engineering's help, we put a list of projects, a list of line items together to provide a basis for that bid. So we said, you know, we'll let's just do, I don't remember the number, but 3,000 lineal feet of white 4-inch striping, just to sort of get a basis for what the cost is, because we want the contractor to sort of have an idea what the scale of work is. Gotcha. Because the more that you sort of give them, the less the price is, right? Sort of the price sort of comes down. Okay. But there's no need, it just sets the unit prices for the different types of work that we need to do. So I just ask that you accept the prices as quoted.
Okay. Motion to accept the quote from Traffic Management Company as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Letter E, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting permission for NIPSCO to close Summer Street between Hump Road and Indianapolis Boulevard on June 27, 2023, from 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. for their electrical crew to perform work.
Lots of work going on in the city. As you know, Summer Street is a $14 million project, 80% funded by federal funds through NERPC and 20% local match. The project is moving forward, and it requires NIPSCO relocations. They need to close the road to run the wires. They've been working on the pole alignment at this point, but they asked for Tuesday, the 27th, an overnight closure to do that work so that they can work safely, and I'd ask for your approval.
Okay.
I have asked them to put up advanced warning, and they committed to doing that this Friday, so tomorrow.
I had a question. So I've been really impressed with the digital signs that have been going up around the city. I've noticed, though, that some of them say will be closed on or after a certain date, but there's no termination date on those. Is there a way that, I think it's good for the motorist or resident to see like how long it's going to be closed, if known, right, or at least approximate. That's possible. I noticed like the one on Lyman, 170, will be closed on or after 6/26, but doesn't say like it's going to be 2 months, 2 days. I don't know if there's a way to put a range on it.
So there's risk in that.
Sure.
Because if there is any sort of delay for any reason, whether it be weather or material or complications part of the work, we don't really like to commit to that period because then there's an expectation that they'll be done. And I think this board approved the closure in that case, and the board knows how long that closure is. I think it's a 4-day closure, right, Mark? Mm-hmm. In that case. So I'm reluctant and there's only so much message you can put on a sign. I think there's 3 panels that they can write text on, right? And then they limit out on their announcement. So I appreciate the interest, but at the same time, we sort of have to, live with the confines that we have.
Well, like for example, Calumet and Chicago Avenue, the railroad crossing. I think it says will be closed on or after 6/19, but it's still saying that. So like I don't know if it's worth moving the board out of there. Or, it's pretty obvious it's closed at this point on or after 6/19.
Sure.
Those months, right? So I don't. At that point, I guess the messaging probably isn't needed. Maybe we can use the board somewhere else or whatever. But
And that's sort of NICD's cost, right? I mean, it's in there. And
it's theirs.
Yes.
yeah, it's NICD's crossing that's closed. They were required to put up advanced warning signs. I did get a call from the fire chief this morning with a complaint that the static barricades that are in Calumet Avenue in the right lane be moved because they're causing a problem with traffic. So there's advance warning at 131st Place. I think there's one at 100, maybe 41st that sticks out in the road, and it's complicated because the car in front may see it, or the truck in front may see it, but the car behind might not see it, and then there's a potential accident. So I raised that to NICD this morning and asked them about what, there was no workers out there working today, and it's like, you have a 2-week closure, but can you get done sooner? Because there's no progress, right? The crossing's out, but no one's working. So I've sort of pushed that issue.
Yeah, I think the signage has been a big improvement, as long as, I guess, the city departments know about the approximate closure, maybe that's being done.
That's been going well, yes.
The notifications that we have include what the duration is expected, and that goes out to all city departments. And then, we'll do our best to notify the public, but it's sort of difficult when there's a floating end date, depending.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve the request from NIPSCO regarding Summer Street closure.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter F, correspondence received from Affinia Bradley, 1706 Myrtle Avenue, requesting to hold a block party on August 19th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and requesting barricades and garbage cans. She has, I don't know, she has some signatures here, so I think we're good.
Okay. We'll forward it to Public Works.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Motion to approve Ms. Bradley's request. In addition, we'll forward it to Public Works for the request for barricades and garbage cans.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter G, correspondence received from Connie Miramontes, 1024 Hoffman Street, requesting permission to have a block party on July 1st, 2023, from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Ms. Miramontes states traffic will be accessible through Hoffman in both alleys. She's had this before a couple times.
Okay. Motion to approve Ms. Mary Monte's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Moving on to letter H, correspondence received from Seneca Chase, founder of Caitlin Cares Incorporated, requesting to hold their 3rd annual book bag giveaway in memory of Caitlin Golden and close the 100 block of Cleveland Street on July 22nd, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. with signatures attached.
Motion to approve Ms. Chase's request for the street closure.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Letter I, correspondence received from Trina Lee Schultz, 904 Cherry Street, requesting to hold a block party on Rhodey Avenue at the corner of Cherry Street on July 5th, 2023, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with signature of the one resident it would affect.
Motion to approve Ms. Schultz's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter J, correspondence received from Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal of amusement devices license for Home Plate Pub and Boulevard Lounge.
Motion to approve the request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter K, correspondence received requesting a rental registration hearing.
Motion to set the rental registration hearing for July 6, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Number 8, matters from board members.
Okay, we have a agreement to purchase real estate at 5612 Beale, submitted for approval. Kevin,
You know anything about that?
yeah. We'll take a look at it.
Okay, these are good when we get to them.
In our ongoing Jacob Square kind of real estate and property analysis, there are certain properties that exist kind of in between two properties, like 25-foot lots, that the city owns, but then abutting landowners own the other lots. So this is one of those properties. It was, letters go out pursuant to the statute requesting interest. This agreement is with Dunlop Properties LLC, who is an adjacent property owner, and it's for $2,500. We would request its approval as it complies with the statute for transfer of property to abutting landowners.
Motion to approve the request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Yeah. Anything else from board members?
Yes, there's one more item. A block party requests to close the street of the 6800 block of Idaho, submitted by Jason Hayden. The party will be July 1st, 2023, from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. But I believe the cutoff needs to be 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we had that other one till 11 too,
Okay.
so 10 p.m. is the time we want to go to.
Yep. So we're gonna make the other one, we're gonna change the other one?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll make notification.
okay.
Okay, motion to approve this request with the stipulation that the party will be over by 10 p.m.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anything else from board members?
That's all.
Good. Number 9, new business. Letter A, disposal authorizations received from the Hammond Police Department submitted for approval.
Motion to approve the disposal authorizations as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Letter B, right-of-way permits. Looks like there's 8 of them received from engineering submitted for approval.
Good morning.
Hi, Mark.
So 3 of them are just service lines, one from Ficama, 2 from Salyers. Another one being 57 Clinton for a little bit of boring work, approximately 542 feet. I did not get the water department's approval. Bruce Long has been gone for, it's going to be 2 weeks, so upon his approval, I didn't see a problem with it, but I still like contingent upon his approval. And another one being Orchard Drive and Parish, the gas station. They need to put 4 more wells in there, mandated by the EPA. And there's also, me and myself and Ron Novak have been working together. There's a licensing agreement that the city would get signatures. I don't see Mr. Novak here, but if that can be signed as well, that way the information is given to the environmental department. So I recommend approval. Thank you.
Do we need to put anything with follow-up or anything, or just approve them?
Approve them, I would. Then I will make sure Bruce would not have a problem with the specific one with the boring, with the water mains and so forth.
Okay,
So
okay.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Motion to approve the right-of-way permits request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, agreement to purchase release estate located at 5658 Walter, submitted for approval.
Yeah, I think that should be real estate.
Did I say release again?
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
it's a typo.
Sorry.
So 5658 Walter, this is another similar property regarding Jacob Square. I believe the amount's on there, probably, I think it might be $700 or 5658 Walter amount. I think, yeah. It's another Jacob Square property that we're giving to an abutting landowner.
I don't see it. I don't see it, Kevin.
Letner, yeah. It might be for, I just want to make sure it's the amount. Yeah,
$45?
actually it's $10. So this is if I remember right, this is a sliver
Yeah, right
of
there.
property that exists next to her property that the city owns. And, you know, under the statute, we can offer it at a nominal or no amount. So this is the amount we agreed upon.
Okay.
Motion to approve the agreement to purchase real estate at 5658 Walter as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, Robertsdale access agreements received from 1216 121st Street, 1224 121st Street, 1248 121st Street, 1306 121st Street, 1310 121st Street, 1314 121st Street, 1320 121st Street, 1330 121st Street, 1340 121st Street, 1222 Lakeview Avenue, and 1231 Lakeview, submitted for approval.
Request their approval. These are all additional Phase 3 lead remediation projects up in that area. And as you can see, people are signing, which is great news, as they have in the past. And so we would request their approval as presented.
Motion to approve this request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter E, C-Click Fix requesting four-way stop sign at 114th and Lake Avenue.
This was referred to me from the law department. I took a look at it. I don't think it meets the warrant analysis for stop signs, so I deny the request.
Deny the request.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Motion to deny the C-Click Fix request for the four-way stop sign at 114th and Lake.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter F, contract for demolition services with C. Lee Construction Services for property located at 1806 Brown Avenue for $14,433 and 1414 Calumet Avenue for $7,200.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this is before the board, because usually once the contracts for demolition are once the bids are awarded for demolition, the contracting goes through inspections generally. So I'm not sure why this one came up. I mean, it doesn't hurt for the board to approve it, but, I just want to make sure the board's aware that the regular course of business, as it is with most bids, is the board awards the bid, and then the agreements are signed, notice to proceed, everything else goes through. Like, for example, when, Dean doesn't bring every contract up here, and he does a lot of it once you approve the bid. Dean, accurate, right? Yeah. All right, so in a minute, when I'm done.
So should there be no action then, really, instead of
Yeah,
starting to?
I mean, you can approve it, it doesn't hurt, but I guess the board's already approved the bids.
That's why I don't want to start doing that if we don't.
Right.
We've never
So-
done it before.
I don't, all right, let's defer this a week so we can figure out and make sure what the procedure's been doing, because I don't recall it. Linda's saying that I'm losing my mind, which is entirely possible. So we just want to make sure we're doing it right, and we're doing it what we've been done. So we could defer that, but I think there's a gentleman here who wants to talk about apparently one of these properties.
Okay.
Hi.
Can you give us your name, sir?
Mickey Dobras. We own the 1806 Brown.
Okay.
We were actually supposed to come back today to discuss the eviction which we had in court last week. So I'm not sure why this is even up for a demolition contract when we're in the process of trying to rehab it. And we were here a few weeks back. And that was the plan, to come back after the eviction, which is
With like a
today.
status update.
With a status update and figure out what the next step is.
Yeah, because we that removed that person from your property, correct?
They've been.
It was that day or a couple days
No, I mean,
afterwards?
yeah, they were
But we had
arrested.
an official eviction hearing
I
last
gotcha.
week, so they're officially evicted out.
I gotcha.
So we were supposed to come back today for a status hearing, but then we see on your agenda that it's contracted for demolition.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment by the owners, because we met with them. So the information I received this morning was that the owners, which I believe were these folks, had transferred the property because the property was going to be too expensive to rehab. That may be entirely not true, so why don't you guys?
So that was the initial thought based on my inspections, but we still have to have you guys inspect, the city inspect it, and we would still like to get a couple contractors out to give us an estimate for demo as well as rehab, if that seems to be the case. It is a busy season, so if we could get a couple months to get all this done and then come back and revisit. We plan on boarding up the property this week, make sure that the old tenants, for the lack of a better word, the squatters, they're down the street at a friend's house.
Evict them?
Yeah, we got an eviction notice, and they're out of the property, but we've driven past a few times in the past week, and they're like 2 houses down at a friend's house during the day. So I don't know what happens in the evening, but we plan on boarding it up this week.
Do you still own the property?
Yes.
Still own it, okay. And has the city inspection occurred yet? No.
The eviction was last weekend, or last week.
Last week,
our
yeah.
knowledge, and the property still needs to be cleaned out effectively.
Well, I think it's walkable, because I walked it. Once you get past the first room, which is like the sunroom, it's walkable. I walked the basement, I walked the first level and the second level. The stairs are a little iffy, questionable, but I think it's walkable enough for an inspection.
Why don't we,
On a nice day especially, because there's a big hole in the roof, so there's good lighting.
Right, right.
instead of deferring it 1 week, maybe we give Mr. Luter and the owners a chance to schedule that inspection over the next 2 weeks, and then that way we can set it for a status for 2 weeks, if that's all right.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
So July 6th?
yeah, that's July 6th.
So, but does this demolition contract exist? Like, are these
Well, it was,
guys gonna
we
go-
deferred it already.
Okay.
So I think, yeah, there's a lot of demolition contracts that are out there, but until they're signed, there's no right for the demolition contractor.
Yeah,
to
you're good.
Get it
You're-
from
You're
him.
you're good.
Yeah.
So defer it to July 6th?
I'd say defer 2 weeks to allow Mr. Luter in there and make an inspection, and then we can get a report back from the owners on what their intention is.
Okay.
Motion to
Do
defer.
you- I'm sorry.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
go, I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Do you think we can get a little bit more time so we can also get a contractor out, maybe?
Well,
for-
so we're not gonna require you to rehab it in that time. It's just to get the inspection done. And then he can get the report done to show the board what needs to be done. And then you can update us on like, hey, we looked at it, yeah, we're gonna rehab it. No, we're not. We're gonna demo it ourselves, we're gonna sell it, or whatever you're gonna do. We just wanna kinda keep the ball rolling.
Okay.
So we're not requiring you to do anything, except make sure that he gets in there in the next 2 weeks so he can make his report.
All right, cool.
Okay, good?
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion to set this matter for status for July 6, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And that would also be for the 14 county members as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to letter G, garage sale permits submitted for approval. Yeah.
Motion to approve the garage sale permits.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter H, emergency order to repair 5213 Holman Avenue.
If I could have just 1 minute, I'd like to make a comment, but I wanted to show council and the chief of inspections a photograph first.
Okay. Linda does. Yeah, Linda does. She contacts him.
So, engineering department is making a request to the chief of inspections to declare an emergency order to enter the building to this is 5213 Holman Avenue, to enter the building because there's a imminent failure of the roadway in front of 5213. And I have a photograph to provide to you. So the photo that you're looking at is of the roadway after the road had been milled off the top. The roadway collapsed in front of basic office building. And we have since done a video inspection of the 60-inch diameter combined sewer that's in front, and have determined that the lateral from the basic building to the main has failed. And we don't know what's happening behind the building foundation, and we need to figure out what that is and make the correction before we can move forward on the project. As you are aware, this is the Holman Avenue reconstruction project. It's a $6 million renovation of downtown through the downtown master plan, and so timing is everything in this case. In order to move forward with the project, we need to get into the building and figure out what's going on. I'm told there are other issues related to the building, but this is our focus, is to work on a resolution to this. So my request is to Kelly, as our chief of inspections, to issue an emergency entry order for the purpose of determining what renovation we could do. Kelly, thanks.
I'd like to enter that emergency order to enter 5213 Holman to establish exactly what the situation is and the safety of the building and the road in front of.
Okay.
So, just legally and how this works is that we're operating under Indiana Code 36799. Kelly is the designated enforcement authority. You're just like you're the hearing authority, like, under the Unsafe Building Act, right? That's where this falls. So the statute reads that if the enforcement authority finds it necessary to take emergency action concerning an unsafe premises in order to protect life, safety, or property, it may take that action without issuing an order or giving notice. However, this emergency action must be limited to removing any immediate danger. And so there's really no action by the board needed. It's more informational. Once Kelly is able to get into the property, his obligation is to abate that emergency, and that's it. And then the costs of that will come before the board once we establish what needs to be done. He will, of course, make every effort to contact the owner. I think they have been trying to make contact. There's been no ability to contact him. Given the undermining of the street, I think it's very obvious that, based on Dean's investigation, that there's something going on with that lateral, and because we can't contact the property owner, I don't think we have any other option but to have Kelly declare emergency, which he's done to protect property, namely basic business, the adjoining properties, and the city right of way.
True.
Okay.
That's it.
No action required. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Kearney.
Number 10, old business. I see none. Number 11, rental registration hearings. I don't see any. Okay. What?
What's on here? Hi.
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 Could you give us your name, please?
My name's Taylor.
Taylor?
Yep.
What's your last name?
Adams.
Taylor Adams.
Wickstrom, yeah.
Okay.
So my company purchased the property, Orchard Drive in Hammond, August 16th of 2022. No one told me we had to register the property with you guys every year. I have everything filled out and ready for you guys. I'm just asking that the late fees be waived.
What is the address on?
It looks like it's a multi.
There's 7 buildings. The first 2 are 3620 163rd, 3610 163rd. The rest are on Orchard Drive, 3607, 3615, 3625, 3635, and 3645.
You got all those, Nick?
This is the first time that you guys have been late registering?
Yes, this is the only
And
time.
what was it, when did you take over ownership?
August 16th of 2022.
22, so then essentially then you guys would have registered for, well, previously, are you aware of any registrations that were filed for 2022 by the previous owner?
I am not aware.
Okay. So I guess, it looks like this would be their first time that they'd be late registering. So it's a rental unit community. So it'd be a single $5 registration fee, but there would have to be a rental registration form filled out and submitted for each parcel address, right? And then with the tenants and units listed for each parcel address, we would only charge them a single $5 fee. So I would be able to write out the findings and orders and email that to you guys after the meeting.
So even when they're different addresses, they can still fall under the community?
As long as they are adjoining parcels, so like if the parcels touch, and they're, one after another, then they would still be, even though they're separate buildings, they still would fall under the statute of the rental unit community.
Okay. So we're gonna vote to waive the late fee.
Motion to waive the late fee for the properties given 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other rental registration hearings? Sir?
Yes, my name's Al Kalimba. I have 3 rental properties, and I've been paying the fee for years now. It's recorded. For some reason in 22.
Mr. Colombo, I don't mean to interrupt. Can we get the addresses
Oh,
of
I'm
the
sorry,
places you're
yes.
talking about?
420 165th Street, 7041 Jackson, and 262 Florence.
Okay. Go ahead, sir, sorry.
So, for some reason, in 22, I don't know if I was out of town, there was an oversight. I didn't get it sent in. I sent in this year's, and then they kicked it back to me saying that I didn't have 22. So, I guess it was an oversight on my part of 22, but the record.
These all single-family homes?
Yeah, they're all single.
Okay. And then, so we would be here for 2022 and then 23 then, the email and the payment, and we return that to him, and then it was that process. So I would say for each property address, this is his first time being late registering properties, then would recommend a waiver for 22, and would be an accept 23. 2022 and 23 for each property address.
Okay, before we act, I just want to remind both parties that we only extend the courtesy of waiving the late fee one time, so keep that in mind going forward. And then you have January 1st to April 15th to register, so just keep that in mind, okay? Okay. Yeah.
A motion to waive the rental registration fees for 22 and 23 for the 3 properties given.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other rental registration hearings? Okay, the meeting's open to the public. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? Come on up to the microphone, sir.
Is anyone jaundiced by what's happening?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Mark Lottie. I live at 1810 Warwick Avenue. For the previous 3 years, we've had a block party, and we have a letter here for a block party on July 1st, Saturday, from 11 to 10. Signatures of all those, of the houses that are going to be in front of it. Here, do I need to give this to you?
Yeah, just, okay.
I'm at 1810. That's actually written by Nina Ojeda. And she's listed on there as well, but she's not able to present the letter today. I am.
Okay, are you in need of anything, barricades, garbage cans, anything?
Just barricades.
Just barricades. And the 10 o'clock thing, 10 p.m. ending, we're pretty stern on that.
Yeah.
So make sure the party's wrapping up at 9:30 so that you're actually done at 10.
Okay.
Okay? You guys good with it? Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Motion to approve the request as submitted.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We'll keep this, sir. Thank you. Anybody else in the public like to speak?
Yes, I was here for a rehab update for 4919 Pine Avenue.
Could you give us your name again, ma'am?
Yamisha Mitchell.
Okay. Go ahead.
I did the roof and siding, windows. I'm on concrete basement repair, so I need more time.
Anybody aware of that address?
Not fully. Being that she has noticed to be here, we'll follow through on as far as inspections. If she needs more time, 90 days.
Yeah.
We can approve 90 days. If she's got that far, that much progress done, permits and inspections have been done, another 90 days, and hopefully we can have this wrapped up.
So that's for a status then, Kelly, at 90 days? September 21st?
Fine with me.
Okay.
Motion to set the matter for 4919 Pine for status September 25th, 2023. 21st, what did I say?
You said 25th.
21st, sorry,
All right.
2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody else that would like to speak from the public? Okay. Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. For 5554 Walter.
Could you give us your name again, please?
Irene Botello.
Okay, go ahead.
I have an agreement, but most inspections already been passed. I have a contractor that's gonna start with the steps. The other one backed out. I'm not sure what happened. They weren't answering no more, so I had to find somebody else. It's through United, so just want to give an update.
So your rehab expired?
I'm not sure. Is it expired?
I think it's going to be close.
It's going to be close for sure, yeah.
60 days?
Yeah.
We had some issues with the water line and getting that situation resolved. We have gotten through that. She's correct, and most inspections have passed. We had a couple of things that need to be done. I think if we're going to extend this to 60 days, have a status at that point, hopefully we'll be done.
Yeah.
Okay, is August 24th sound okay?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to set 5554 Walter for status August 24th, 2023.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public like to speak? Mr. Margraff?
Kevin Margraff, 47 Roselawn. I would just like to know if the board is continuing to utilize the vocabulary exercise that we've been doing for the past 6 years.
Well, we've become jaundiced to it,
Yeah.
but yes. Boom, but we did, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, see?
Thank you, Mr. Margraff. Anybody else from the public besides Kevin Margraff? Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
I second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, everyone.